Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Nityam Suddham Nirabhasam Nirakaram Niranjanam Nityabodham Chidanandam Kurum Brahmanamabhyam. So last session I was supposed to see you are the word, but then we just thought a little bit of this knowledge, what does it do? I thought maybe looking into it would be a blessing. For knowledge, a valid means of knowledge is required. The object must be there. And then the object should not be veiled, covered, enveloped. And the person who wants to gain the knowledge should be relatively cool, composed. All that we have seen, which was not touched in the earlier session. Now, with all this knowledge, I am in the world. When I am in this world, invariably everybody says I am a victim. The world chokes me. Either I say it's a mad, mad, mad world, or I say it's a suffocating world. And generally, we always say nothing can be done here. Just exist and get out. This world, I think, is distinct from me, is other than me. And the moment I have this understanding that the other is there, the presence of the other smothers one. Where the other is, one is bound. Where the other is not, one is not bound. The other binds one. Is it the other binds one, or is it the sense of the other binds one? In sleep, I am not bound. Nobody is bound in sleep. There's a big problem. In the process of trying to solve the problem, think about the problem, the person is so exhausted, sleeps. At that moment, he is completely free from all problems. When the other goes away, the problem also goes away. Whether the problem goes away or not, at least I don't cognize the problem. The problem is not something that is cognized. Only when a thing is cognized can it create something for me. It can be something for me. It can create something for me. Whether it creates something for me or not, does not bother. It's there and it can do something. When the other is not there, it cannot cause, unless I have some other problem. Like, sugar is not there, that can be a problem. If an absence of a thing creates a problem, then you must understand behind that there should be a cognition of a presence, and then you see the absence, and then there's a problem. I thought sugar would be there, and maybe I can make all this, and now you discover sugar is not there. Now what are you going to do? There's a problem. we can convert it. Otherwise, absence of a thing can never create a problem. Only things that are there they can bind you possibly. Well, as we have seen, if one is caught up in doubts, vagueness, errors regarding the thing, then one can be bound. When the other is gone, the problem is gone. We have got an example, sleep. Nothing has happened to the world. The world continues to be the same old world. Only this person, for this person, there is no cognition of the world. Problem is not there. Then there is a dream where there is a cognition of the world. Well, there could be a nightmare there, or maybe sweet dream. Just as most of the people on the pillows they write, embroidery, sweet dreams. Whether we get the dreams or not, that's a different issue, all right. Or it could be nightmare. The other can stifle you, choke you, or can entertain you. And in the waking moments, the other is there, bondage is there. So supposing in this world I live without being aware of the world, without cognizing the world, then maybe the problem will not be there. No, you can't do anything in the world. And no transaction can be possible without cognition. So therefore, you are not living, you are just existing then. So therefore, I am in the world, but today my understanding is I am distinct from the world. I am totally different from the world. World is other than me. I cannot be totally away from the world. I am not totally away from the world. Whatever you call as world is nothing but names and forms, for time being, briefly, is nothing but names and forms. And whatever you call yourself to be, irrespective of how you are seeing, is also nothing but names and forms. So names and forms go to make the world, and names and forms go to make you. And we are not talking about it from a deeper angle. From the transactional level, I so and so is a name and a form with all those attributives, etc., etc., etc. And the world is also nothing but names and forms. Somewhere I bring in this segregation, the separation. The world begins and ends there. I begin and end here. This segregation, which is purely subjective, creates a problem. Any segregation creates a problem, and this segregation also creates a problem. And while living in this world, which is distinct from me, I feel I can't live my life the way I should live. By my understanding, I should live the way the world wants me to live. The world, I conclude, is crooked. I am straight. That's what I think. I am clean, straight. The world is crooked. And therefore, if I live a clean, straight life, I can't survive in this world. And therefore, what? For me to survive in the world, I'll have to be crooked. Don't ask me what is crooked. Because I have concluded the world is crooked. There is cunningness, there is deceit, there is crookedness. That's what I have concluded. Whether it's a straight line or a crooked line, it all depends upon the perceiver. And with what instrument he perceives. A straight line is not all that straight as you think it to be. All that you have got to do is take a picture of the straight line, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Then you have to change your opinion about that. Then zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Then again you have to change the opinion of that. So therefore, when I say this world is like that, is it really like that? Is it not that all that is there in the world is there in me? What is there in me manifests in the world? Am I totally distinct from you? Are you totally distinct from me? We generally think that way. It's very strange. It took me 40, 50 years to understand this. As a teenager, we had taken a group photograph. And in that photograph, I looked very handsome. And then I was thinking how handsome I am looking. The other person, he took the photo from my hand. Only thing is, I did not speak it out, the other fellow spoke it out. He said, look at all the fellows, they are like idiots, I tell you. Only handsome fellow is me. Then I started thinking, I also thought that way. There were 4 or 5 people, each one was thinking the same way. At that time it didn't strike. After 40 years, after all this Vedanta and all, then I discovered, all the perception depends upon the perceiver. As the perceiver, so the perception. I think that I should change because the world has got all this. Long ago it happened. When I was in India, I met a person. He's a nice person, nice family. He was a medical representative. And he was by birth a vegetarian. And generally they don't commit themselves to other things. So this person was telling, I asked this person, how come you didn't go for the conference? He said, no, Swamiji, I don't go for the conference. I said, why? No, if you have to go to the conference, we'll have to eat all this non-vegetarian and all this. And then afterwards, we'll have to do all other things. But why? I asked. Why should you do? No, if I don't do it, then they look down upon me. So therefore, for company's sake, for the sake of being, making the others feel good, I should do all these things. So I said, why? Are these things everything for you? Are these things everything for the other? Don't they recognize anything else? If you are the representative and then you sell, you meet your targets. Not only you meet your target, you are good to your doctors and then your customer relationship increases. Then don't they learn to look up to you, they appreciate you? No, that is okay, Swamiji, but then, here then I told him, few people are there who are not drinking, who are not eating this. Then I gave few names. No, they are big people, Swamiji. So we try to find certain things wherein we say what? No, the world expects and I have to live with that. It seems there was a Swami, he was organizing a ritual, big ritual, in which an yajna was being organized. He relegated the duties to different people. Being a village. Generally, the whole village descends and then tries to help. And the Swami's job was much easier. The next day, before the ritual is supposed to begin, he wanted to take stock of situation, whether everything is in its place, etc. Then he comes, and then he finds two small pits full of water. The Swami wonders, one should be with water, the other should be with milk. Then he calls the people who have been given the job of collecting the milk, and then he called the people. The first person came and he said, Swami, I was given the job of getting the milk, but I thought anyhow the other fellow will bring the milk, so I can just pour some water there. Then he called all the other people. He thought the other person is going to bring the milk. Why? It was all dark. Who is going to see? And then the Swami tells, look at it right now, it's early morning, just broke. See that. Had one person at least brought some milk, it would have been dirty water, but now it happens to be pure water. I make a difference. The world is not as I think it to be. I am contributing to the world. In fact, my mind goes to make the world. All the confusion in the mind is the confusion in the world. All the chaos in the mind is the chaos in the world. My own anger, passion, greed, hatred, jealousy is reflected in the world. If at least I am not contributing to the world in that sense of the term, concluding that the world is like that and adding to it, instead of that, if my own understanding brings about the action pattern, then you will find the world will not be as you think it to be, and therefore you cannot say the world binds you. Anyhow, let's keep the topic aside. You say you are there and the world is there. This world is a total and you are the individual. The creation is the total and you are the individual. When I say total, I am talking about it, not putting all those things together, but when viewed collectively, I call it total. The example that we can generally give is like the forest, which is the group of trees. When viewed as a unit, you call it forest. And when it's viewed individually, then you can say it's a tree. Similarly, the world is a total, a collective, an aggregate, and I am an individual. If you want to use the word, Sanskrit word, you can say that is samashtihi, and this individual is called vyashtihi. The individual cannot be distinct from the samashtihi. The total, the aggregate, swallows the individual. In the vision of the total, the individual is already there. So when I say, I am distinct from the world, it is ignorance that brings about this division. I said samashtihi, the aggregate, the total. Does the total or the aggregate the world, does it stop just before my skin? Is the world there and am I here? I can't say the world ends just before my skin. Up till my skin, or just beyond my skin, the world ends, and after that I begin, I cannot say. In fact, all the things from the world has got to make the body also, including the skin. So this gross body is not totally distinct from this physical body, is not distinct from the world. The world has gone to make the physical body. Distinct from this body, I got the ideas and all. Can I say these ideas, these thoughts, which are all subtle, they are totally distinct from the world, can I say? Where did I get it? Did I manufacture my own thoughts? My own view of things? The whole world view has got to make my view too. So I can't say the world ends outside my mind and I begin with my mind. There's a lot of activity taking place. I can't say the world ends here and my activity begins here. So how am I going to distinguish myself, segregate myself, separate myself, and then say the world is somewhere there, I am somewhere here? There's a clear border, like, Edmonton ends here and maybe Nisku begins somewhere, supposing. Or Alberta ends here and then your BC begins there. Whether that side BC and this side Sask. Okay, is there a clear border? You say, that's the world, this is the me. This is me. I am here, the world is there. I am not distinct from the world. The world has gone to make me. Once I have the understanding, I am the world, I become a little more responsible. And once I become a little more responsible, my action patterns also change. So therefore, I am distinct from the world is a problem, I am fine, becomes an apology for me to live my own casual, superficial life, the way I want it. An apology for enjoyment, an apology for continuing my own lifestyle. But supposing I say, I am the world and therefore it matters, what I do matters, I become more responsible. And the more I become responsible, you will see the world change. Had I brought in my share of milk and poured in that, then it would not have been pure water. So therefore, I should understand I am not distinct from the world, I am the world. But when you look at it from a different angle, much more deeper angle, you'll find that the world, I'll just use the world is mithya, apparent. I am the one who is the adhishtanam for that. I am the content of it. The content runs in and through the apparent. The bangle is apparent, mithya. Gold, if it's a gold bangle, gold is the adhishtanam, or even you can say adhara, the basis or the content. So, from a deeper angle, I am the Adhara for the creation, my world. I am the Adhishtanam for the creation. And once that understanding is there, it will make a lot of difference. Lot of appeal. The whole teaching, spiritual teaching is only to reveal that. Anyhow, it wants to knock down the sense of segregation, separation, which creates all the problem. We shall speak more about this in the next session. And then afterwards continue the discussion. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shantashantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om